Some stories are so shocking, so deeply disturbing, that they leave scars long after the words are spoken. This is mine. My name is Alex, I'm 22 years old, and my entire world shattered the night my mother confessed she was cheating on my dad with my best friend. I grew up in what most people would call an ordinary family. My dad worked long hours as an accountant. My mom stayed home, taking care of the house, making sure dinner was on the table, keeping everything in order. To outsiders, we looked picture perfect. Family vacations, Sunday dinners, holiday photos with forced smiles. But underneath, things weren't perfect. My parents fought sometimes about money, about dad's late nights at the office, about mom feeling ignored. Still, I never imagined their marriage was in danger. I thought arguments were just part of marriage. And then there was me, Ann, only child. Quiet, not exactly the most popular kid at school. That's probably why my friendship with Ethan mattered so much. Ethan and I met in middle school. He was funny, outgoing, always ready with a joke. He pulled me out of my shell. We became inseparable. Sleepovers, video games, studying for exams. He was like the brother I never had. My parents adored him. Mom especially. She always said he was polite, respectful, the kind of kid she wished more teenagers were like. If only I had known how far that admiration would go. The first crack in the glass came one night when I was 16. Ethan was staying over, and we were watching movies in the living room. Around midnight, I went to the kitchen to grab snacks. When I came back, Ethan wasn't on the couch. I figured he'd gone to the bathroom. But as I passed the hallway, I heard voices, whispering my mom's voice. His voice. I froze, listening. It was too quiet to make out the words, but there was something in the tone, something wrong. When I stepped into the hallway, Ethan appeared suddenly, smiling nervously, rushing past me as if nothing had happened. Mom was in the kitchen, pretending to pour a glass of water. I told myself it was nothing, that I was imagining things, but in the back of my mind, unease began to grow. Over the next 2 years, there were little things. The way Mom lit up when Ethan came over, the way Ethan sometimes looked at her, almost guilty. Once, I caught them sitting too close on the porch, their laughter a little too intimate. When they saw me, they jumped apart like guilty children. I wanted to confront them, but how could I? This was my mom. And my best friend. To even think such a thing felt like betrayal, so I buried it. Pretended I didn't see. Pretended I didn't feel the shift in the air whenever Ethan was around. Everything exploded on my 20th birthday. Dad had planned a small party at home. Just family and a few close friends. Of course, Ethan was there. We ate cake, opened presents, laughed. For a while, everything felt normal. But that night, after everyone left, I found Mom sitting at the kitchen table, her hands trembling, eyes red from crying. Alex, she whispered, I need to tell you something you can't unhear. My stomach dropped. I sat across from her, heart pounding. And then she said it. I've been having an affair. With Ethan. At first, I thought I misheard her. My brain rejected the words, refused to process them. What? I croaked. Tears spilled down her face. I didn't mean for it to happen. It started years ago, when you were 16. We crossed a line we shouldn't have. And it's been going on ever since. I felt the room spin. My chest tightened. You're joking, I whispered, desperate for it to be some kind of sick joke. But her sobs told me it was real. I stumbled back, knocking over a chair. My own mother, with my best friend. For years. The days after her confession were a blur of rage, nausea, disbelief. I confronted Ethan, demanded the truth. He didn't even deny it. His face was pale, his eyes full of shame, but he admitted everything. It just happened, he muttered. I didn't mean to hurt you, man. I swear. Didn't mean to hurt me. He had stolen my trust, my family, my childhood. He had destroyed everything. I punched him. Hard enough to split my knuckles. Then I told him never to come near me again, and he didn't. He vanished from my life overnight, but my mother, she was still there. Every day, every morning, at the breakfast table, every evening in the house we shared. And every time I looked at her, all I could see was betrayal. The worst part, she begged me not to tell Dad. He'll leave me, she sobbed. He'll divorce me, and our family will be ruined. Please, Alex, you can't say anything. Her selfishness sickened me. She wasn't worried about me, or Dad, or the damage she had caused. She was only worried about losing her comfortable life. For weeks, I carried the secret like a stone in my chest. I barely slept. My grades tanked. I stopped talking to friends. I avoided Dad, unable to look him in the eye. The guilt was unbearable. Finally, I couldn't keep it anymore. One night, I sat with Dad in the living room. He was watching TV, sipping his usual glass of whiskey. I turned to him, my hands shaking. Dad, I said, I need to tell you something. About Mom. He muted the TV, giving me his full attention. His calm eyes, his trust, made me want to vomit. But I forced the words out. She's cheating on you. With Ethan. The silence that followed was the heaviest I've ever known. His face drained of color. What did you just say? He asked, his voice dangerously calm. I repeated it, and then, slowly, I watched the man I looked up to my whole life break before my eyes. The fallout was worse than I ever imagined. Dad confronted Mom. The screaming shook the walls. She confessed, begged, pleaded. But there was no forgiveness. Dad filed for divorce within weeks. He moved out, leaving me alone in the wreckage. Mom tried to justify herself. She said she felt lonely, unappreciated. That Ethan made her feel young again. That she never meant for it to last this long. But her excuses meant nothing. She had destroyed our family. As for Ethan, word got out fast. Friends cut him off. His reputation was ruined. Last I heard, he moved out of state. I hope I never see him again. Now, 2 years later, I'm still piecing myself together. My relationship with Mom is strained, almost non-existent. I live with Dad, trying to rebuild some sense of normal. But the scars remain. Because betrayal doesn't just vanish. It lingers, a shadow that follows you everywhere. I lost my best friend. I lost respect for my mother. And a part of me lost trust in everyone. This is my confession. The night my mom told me she was cheating on my dad, with my best friend, my world ended. And I will never be the same.